We have a high-flying matchup here in Week 2 as these two AFC East juggernauts, the Miami Dolphins, fly to the Buffalo Bills. And for an amazing matchup against two teams that it's like this was already marked on the schedule, as like a kind of a key matchup. Like, okay, this is like with how both teams played last year. They played 3 times. All the games were super close. Came down to the last couple minutes. And then now you have how Miami started. And then you have Buffalo Bills coming off a dominant performance.
Oh, yeah.
Washington getting 5 turnovers, I believe, and really definitely seemed to bounce back. I think only giving up 13 points over the past 2 weeks against the Raiders and the Commanders. It's going to be an amazing matchup here. The Miami Dolphins offense is not struggling at all through 3 games at 1,651 total yards. And I'm looking at this on Pro Football Reference, and I'm not entirely positive if that includes like any sacks, if there has been sacks. So
they have 113 points scored in 3 games.
Well, yeah, that's when you put up a 70 steamer as what's that YouTube guy's name, the Denver Broncos fan, who is hilarious. I'll find it up here in a second, but he called it a 70 steamer because no one's ever done it before. So you can't say a 50 burger; you got to put up a 70 steamer.
A 70 steamer.
I don't want to plagiarize him, so I'll look it up here when I send it over to you. But yeah, that was just an unbelievable performance, like against just one of the worst teams in the league. But still, though, I think it still demonstrated how just explosive this offense could be, just in general. I mean, and we've talked so much about Devon A-Chain and what he would bring to this offense, and like that performance, of course, against a horrible Broncos team, though, but still showed it's like.
But the defense in Denver is supposed to be good. Like, it's supposed to be good.
Supposed to be. It's definitely that's a whole separate conversation, but it's supposed to be good. But I think it even goes to show too, and they didn't even have Jalen Waddle, but how all segments of the field now have to be covered somehow by this defense, defense, because of how quick Tyreek Hill is. Jalen Waddle didn't even play, and he is like just as fast as Tyreek Hill. Devon A-Chain, if I'm not mistaken, I think is faster. And then now you also have Raheem Mostert as well. If you have those 4 guys on the field at the same time, they're so quick. I don't know how teams.
So 2 anecdotal facts here. 1, they're the top 6. Like, they do the NFL speed things. They clock how fast the players are running in miles per hour.
Yep.
The top 6 fastest plays, are all by Dolphins players. 2 are Tyreek Hill, 2 are Devon A-Chain, 1 was Jalen Waddle, and I think 1 was Raheem Mostert.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's insane in itself. But then we talked a little bit about this, I think, on our live Sunday night shows. We go live every Sunday night during the first half of the game. Check it out. But Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and Raheem Mostert all ran track at high school and national-ish levels, right? And they all ran like the sprints, obviously. Of all 3 of those guys, Devon A-Chain has the fastest 100-meter dash of any of them. And to put that in perspective, Tyreek Hill's main event in track was the 200. But when Tyreek Hill ran the 200 his senior year of high school at State, he would have finished 7th in the 2016 men's finals in the 200-meter Olympics.
Yeah.
And like, so that is just how fast these guys are moving. And it's just insane to me. So.
Oh, yeah. But this goes back to what we talked about in the preseason on why A-Chain is so important.
Yeah.
It was a great addition to this team, especially over these next couple of years while they still have Tyreek Hill. But we've talked a lot about the Dolphins. I think we kind of I think it probably can go without being said on what the Dolphins' game plan is. It's going to be coming out, ball control. Spread the ball out, just huge explosive plays, finding those gaps. Control the ball, obviously, for as long as possible, but it's not as crucial just because of how quickly they can go down and score. Like in that Broncos game, it was even time of possession for that 70-20 win, and they had 10 offensive touchdowns. So I think that's the game plan defensively. The Jalen Phillips plays, he did get a little banged up and did not return in the game. They could have also been very cautionary just because, we're up. Or touchdowns, we don't want to risk that. I think on the flip side is going to be very interesting too for the Bills because the Bills want to have like that have the explosive plays. They're kind of built for a flashy type offense with the way Josh Allen plays. But I've started to see a little bit more of what we've been saying the Bills need to do, which is strong offensive line, protect Josh Allen, and being able to run the ball effectively. And then on set run plays, not just like Josh Allen running around. And I bring that up too because I know and some of this maybe is a little bit leaning towards the Chargers game in week 1 for the Dolphins, but the Dolphins have given up the most rushing yards throughout the season. And I don't think it's really close, nearly 80 yards more than the next team, which is sorry. Dude, that's the Denver Broncos. Damn it. Sorry.
No, you're good. The Dolphins, they did give up over 200 rushing yards in week 1. They did have a pretty good run defense performance in week 2. And last week, I'm going to kind of totally throw out the window just because Denver was, for 55 minutes of the game, was down by multiple scores. So that for me, like they did not run the ball very much. So I do want to kind of go over one thing for the Bills that is a little bit concerning for me. So on their injury report, Siren Neal, Teron Johnson, Leonard Floyd, Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde, Von Miller is obviously out, and AJ Epinesa is also listed as questionable. All of those players are contributing defensive players. Most are starting, and you have to be fully healthy to stand a chance against this Miami Dolphins team, especially with how they're playing right now. It's going to be really interesting to watch this defense. I have a feeling most of those guys will end up playing, but the fact that they are questionable and on the injury report is definitely a little bit concerning.
Well, just to address some of that, it is Wednesday, and so like if they are limited in practice, they have to put questionable. And I apologize too. I actually was just going back and forth, and this is actually going to make me change my pick because I was honestly leaning towards the Bills when looking at this. But Miami Dolphins actually had the most offensive rushing yards. I thought I was on the defensive page on the Pro Football Reference because I have 2 links going up. So I apologize about that.
But I did have 2 guys over 150 yards last week alone.
No, I know. And so I was reading it because my initial talking point was going to be it's like Buffalo is actually running the ball well. I think that they're going to come out and have time of possession because I know that's how they need to win. And that's how Buffalo needs to win this game is they need to keep Tua and this offense off the field for as long as possible. Yeah. And they've been running the ball better. They need this offensive line to work well. And maybe that'll open things up in the passing play. That was going to be my argument. But now, actually, since I just realized Miami, they are 8th on the rushing list, but that's 390. And actually, if you think about it now, the point I was going to use was the Chargers game had over 200 rushing yards. So over the last 2 games against a good Patriots team or an up-and-coming Patriots team, and then Denver, who, I mean, maybe that's kind of an outlier, but have only given up like another 100 rushing yards, maybe 150 over those last 2 games.
Yeah.
Their rushing defense actually seems to be much more comfortable. And they're 8th. They've given up 8th most rushing yards and 4 rushing touchdowns. But then, like, the Kansas City Chiefs have given up 308, and, like, they're 20th. Or 12th best in rushing yards allowed. So, actually, my mistake made me change my pick because that was going to be my whole argument. But so I'm going to go with Miami, actually, in this game.
I'm going with Miami as well.
Okay. Yeah. So, I hope that clears things up. I know if you got to this point in the video still, I hope you understand my mistake.
my big point is I think that this Buffalo defense is a little overrated. They played against a Jets team without Aaron Rodgers in week 1. They played against and then actually lost that game, to be frank, where in a game where Josh Allen looked horrible and threw multiple interceptions. Then in week 2, they played a Jimmy Garoppolo-led Raiders team who has not looked very good this year. Their only win is over the Denver Broncos. And then last week they played against Sam Howell in his 3rd or 4th ever first real start on the road against a competitive team. And
it was in Washington.
Oh, it was? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was in Washington. But I would definitely – I agree with you on that. His first real competitive
start.
Yeah.
And, like, they completely took advantage of him. And that game was actually really close for a little while. Like, I say really close. I think it was like 16-13. Or 16-3. Sorry, 16-3.
Yeah. I think it was 16-0 at halftime, but it was a lot of back and forth, and a couple things didn't go the Commanders' way. But in general, it was a good team game overall. Like, overall team game by the Bills.
And I just think like right now, Miami, they're operating on a whole nother level. The way that they're using motion incorporated into this offense, I think that's something that come next year or the year after, 30 out of 32 teams are going to be incorporating some of the tactics that Miami is using to get receivers going before the snap. And it's going to be a crucial evolution to this game. And so, and right now Miami is unstoppable on the offensive side of the ball, and they're forcing you to throw into this Vic Fangio defense, which is exactly what Vic Fangio wants you to do. So that for me, I'm going with the Dolphins. I think they win pretty convincingly.
It's going to be a great game. I mean, all three games last year between the two teams were amazing. And so Jalen Waddle's looking like he's going to be coming back as well, which I think is going to be huge for that offense. So I think Miami's going to win. Yeah. I think it's going to be like 35 to 27.
Okay, I'm gonna go 38-24. I think Miami's really good, and they're gonna force Josh Allen to have to make plays, and I think he'll look similar to how he did in the Jets game. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting, but let's go ahead and wrap this video up here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below on who you think is going to come out ahead in this crucial AFC East matchup. Is it going to be the Buffalo Bills? Is it going to be the Miami Dolphins? Let us know down below. And other than that, we'll see you guys next time.